are back with the 2008 Polaris Sportsman 300. You've seen in the previous video, we ended up getting it running, but I didn't get a video of it smoking when I was driving it around on trails. So mostly smoked on decel or like hard acceleration. So ended up showing you a video after I started it. It started smoking when I revved it up. So ended up tearing down the motor, and we got the parts in finally. Took about a week or week and a half to get everything that I needed, really. I could not find a stock piston without getting a whole new cylinder, and this cylinder is fine. It just could be rehoned because there's a few like pitting spots, but I got a ball hone and that should clean it up really well. So these are the parts I got. Cylinders right here. I cleaned up the piston, took the rings off, and ended up getting new rings. So this is a 77.7 millimeter piston and cylinder. So ended up getting the rings for the stock size. And these are the gaskets. And this is the ball hone I got. So should be able to hold that out really nicely with the cross hatching. And then we got the valve seals here. So I'm just gonna use the stock piston. The scratches right here are not deep at all. You can't even catch it with your fingernail, so that's not even that bad at all. I cleaned up the top with all the carbon. But yeah, let's go ahead and get this thing rolling. I do gotta take off the gaskets here for the new gaskets. I'm just gonna use a razor blade for that. And then, yeah, so let's get started. First, I'm gonna hone this cylinder. You can see the cross hatching. There's a few pitting, but nothing that'll catch your nail or anything like that. So it's all. It'll be really nice afterwards. So let's go ahead and get the ball hone on the drill, and then use some motor oil to lube up the cylinder, and then get the 45-degree cross hatching in it. So let's go ahead and get that going. It's a good size for it right here. I believe I got a 3-inch. So I'm just gonna coat the ball hone drill itself with oil, and then I'm gonna coat the cylinder walls as well. Pretty nice coating in there. gonna wipe it down. Still see a little pitting in there, so I'm gonna go a little bit. I'm gonna go one more round. It's looking really good though. I don't know if you can see the cross hatching in there. Looks really good. Still a little pitting in there though. The crosshatch looks nice. All right, so that pitting in there, you can't catch it with your fingernail. And I feel like I don't want to keep honing it too much to where it's out of tolerance. So I'm gonna run that. It's actually really smooth. You can't feel it whatsoever. It's just visible and it's very light. So I'm gonna run it like that. We're gonna check out. Well, first we're gonna put the rings on the cylinder, and then we'll put all the gaskets together, and we'll put the piston on the crank, and then go from there. So I do gotta wash this with soap and water. but I'm gonna do it after I clean off all the gasket material. Bottom side is not that bad at all, but the gasket material here, we got to get all that off for the new surface. So all right, piston rings. With Nomura. The other kit that I seen was a Nomura. I think it was a bigger bore kit. It came with a cylinder and everything, but like I said, the cylinder was still good. Other than the light pitting on it, but the ball hone fixed it right up. So here's the rings. Got the oil rings here, and then the compression rings here. So if you have the letters on one side only, which I believe the letter side is always up, and then compared to second and first rings, you have a little beveled edge on this one here. I don't know if you can see it, but it's like a little side bevel on it. And I believe this is going to be the first ring. This one's the second ring. So let me look it up real quick on the service manual, and I'll get back to you just to make sure. So we got the rings all on, and the way I spaced them out was so this is facing the rear of the cylinder, rear of the quad intake side. We got the bottom ring facing the rear, top ring facing the front, and then the oil rings on the bottom here. The bottom scraper is like 30 degrees away from the front. Same with the top scraper, and then the inside rib ring is pretty much facing the front of the quad. So that's how I'm gonna do it. And I do gotta lube this whole thing up with oil before I put it in there, just so it's nothing gets stuck or anything like that. So it's looking pretty good. So yeah, I know there's a little bit of scoring on the side there, but really the pistons are just for a guide for the rings. So as long as the rings are good, we should be solid, but we'll find out. So let's go ahead and slap this thing back in the crank, and then we'll go on to scraping all the surfaces off for the gaskets. Piston is in. Like I said, the indentation on the front there faces the intake, or the rear of the quad. So that is all the way in. Clips are in with the wrist pin, and it's all lubed up with oil and everything, and all the rings and all that is all in the right position. So just thinking about it, I need to get this gasket off too. So I probably should have done that before I put the piston on, but it's already on. So next is just going to be me taking my time, and it's going to be tedious, but getting all that gasket off, as well as the gasket off the cylinder here. So I'm not going to record that. I'm just going to record the aftermath of it cleaned up, so we'll just save some time here. So I'll see you on a bit when it's all cleaned up. Pretty much got most of the services already done with all the gasket off. So the gasket's still on this one though, actually. But right now I'm going to do the valve seals. So with the rockers, it's pretty easy. The rod back here pretty much slides in between both of them, and they sit on top of the springs. for the valves, and you just slide that out. There's a little washer, little wave washer you want to catch, and make sure the orientation is in the same spot as when you put it back in. So you can number it, do whatever, but I kind of just took a picture of it, and I know that that's the orientation with the intake side facing that way. So you can kind of do it that way, memorize it real quick. But yeah, all the surfaces and rockers, they all look pretty good. No scoring or anything. I don't have to remove the cam, but I do have to compress the valve springs in order to get to the seals. So this is the kit I got. It's off of Amazon. So you got both your like both the attachments. So one end will go right here and compress it. The other end will go on the back side of the valve. So you're kind of compressing it down with each other so you can get the keepers out of there. And I got the magnet for that too. So go ahead and put this through. Okay. There's one keeper. Okay, just like so. Valve comes right out. Actually looks really clean. This is the intake side though. So it's just dirty on top, which I can clean the carbon off that with my brush. But so there's the seal right there. You kind of just might have to have pliers to get it off. But let me just make sure I got the right size ones before I even take it off. So they are labeled too. Oh. Yeah, see, one says IN, which is for intake. And the other one's supposed to say EX for exhaust, but I'm not really seeing it here. But you can see that one has an IN for exhaust. It says 3.5. Or that one says IN for intake. It says 3.5. So we're gonna put down the intake one, which is what we have off right now. Yeah, it looks the same. This one also says intake 2 IN on the stock one, so let's see if we can grab it out of there. There we go. Yeah, I can't tell if it's leaking or not, but we're gonna, yeah, it looks good. Just gonna dip that right in the oil. Make sure it's all oiled up. Just push it on. IN. It should be on right there. You'd feel it go in, but all right. So that one's on. What I am gonna do too is put the valve on a drill. Make sure it's all straight. Yeah, so that one's good. Just put some oil on it. Feed it back through there. And pretty much the same, putting it back on, put it all intact. So spring obviously goes there, and then just compress it just the same way you took it off, and just make sure you put the keepers in there right and make sure they're secured, because you don't want those popping off. So yeah, pretty much the same thing on that side, same as the other side, and and you get the gist. I'm not gonna record it, but I'll record it when I put it all back together. So, all right, so all the valve seals and valves are back in. Now I'm gonna pretty much show you how to put the rockers back in, how easy it was to get out. So. Alright, so this is the back rocker for the intake. This one's for exhaust, so pretty much go through here. Make sure you get the rocker in there. And you also have a wave washer. So kind of just slip it through there. Just like that. Same clearance and everything. So that's how you do that. And pretty much good to roll after that. Now I just gotta get this gasket off for the valve cover and clean up this backside because I didn't do the head at all. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and then pretty much what's next is I'm gonna get it all cleaned up, and then it's about ready to be put back on the quad. All right, so next I'm gonna put the exhaust back on, and then we can get the back plastic on, so we can get the air box hooked up to the carburetor, and then we'll get the gas tank hooked up to the top, hooked up to the carburetor. So came with the new O-ring for the exhaust, and it's the exact fit, so it's gonna be perfect. So it's gonna work really nice. So I'm gonna get this on there. I kind of took it apart with the exhaust fully intact, so we might have to split the exhaust into two pieces just so it's easier to hook up. So we'll see, but we'll try to hook it up like it is. Pain in the ass. I don't know, we'll see. Just check over everything. I think we're good to go. Okay. Soft choke right now. Try it again. Leave on choke a little bit. Turn the idle up. Here. Do a couple heat cycles on it. Do the first one just idling, make sure it gets warm. Turn it off, let it cool down, and then do another heat cycle. Sounds pretty good. All right, so we'll let it cool off where it's warm to the touch, kind of cool, and then we'll do another heat cycle on it until it gets warmed up to temp. And I think after like the third one, after the second warm up with just idling, I think the third and fourth heat cycles, I'm gonna do a couple revs and see if we get any smoke. So far, it's not smoking. It's just the residue off the pipe and everything else, and the cylinder and the oil that's just seeping down from when I was rebuilding it. But so far, the rings are holding up pretty good, and it's not smoking. So we'll see. So I guess while it's cooling down, I'm gonna get the rest of the plastics put back together. At least the fronts, anyways, because I gotta check out the belt for the clutch, because it was kind of walking on me, and it was kind of like the belt was slipping. So might need a new belt, maybe new clutch. It is kind of making the clutch is kind of making like a knocking noise. So I might need a whole new primary. So we'll see what we can do. But I do want to get the front put together because I do have new headlights or new bulbs for the headlights. And I think I might need a bulb for the rear tail light too, because it was working, but for some reason it's not no more. So, but other than that, it's not leaking. The fuel pump is leaking a little bit of gas, but it's just dripping and seeping. It's not that bad. I think it's just the lines that are cracking, because I did have to cut back some of the lines on it already, just to make it not seal, or make it seal because it was cracking. So far no leaks. We'll let it cool down, and it's starting up really easy. So we'll see. No weird noises or anything like that. Took the back plastics off just so I can get to the cover for the clutch, and there's about 6 to 8 bolts all the way around the clutch, and the only problem I had getting this off was the front. There's like a dowel pin. There's one on the 6 o'clock and 9 o'clock, and the one on the bottom was not seized in, but this side on the left was seized in there, and I kind of had to get a long extension, go through under the carb, and from the other side hit it with the hammer, and it kind of just slowly came out, just beating it gently because you don't want to break an air off that is on that metal cover. So, but as you can see, this thing is covered in belt dust, like everywhere. It's all covered. The belt's kind of glazing over a little bit, and some of the ribs on the insides are not missing, but they're kind of chipping on the sides of them. And you can see, if I can get a focus here, yep, you can see the cracking in between the ribs there, and it's kind of glazing on top of the ribs too. They get smoothed out, and they can't grab the belt as well. So there's glazing on the primary as well as a little bit on the secondary. This thing needs a good blowing out with the air compressor. I don't think that it's a Polaris. I don't think that it's a Polaris belt, because it doesn't say Polaris at all anywhere on it. So I am going to replace it with the OEM Polaris belt. And I'm not sure if it had any belt work at all, or clutch work at all. I can't tell if it's OEM or not. But I know the belt's not OEM, so someone has been in here. So, but yeah, that stuff is everywhere. So I'm going to have to order up another belt, take these primaries and secondaries off, and like scuff them up with like a Scotch-Brite so they can grab more, have more grip on the belt. This thing did walk a little bit in drive, just at idle. So I'm guessing it's just grabbing it a little bit. Maybe the width of it is off because it's not an OEM one, not sure. But we're gonna try that first. So I guess we're gonna wait for the clutch. But this thing is fully rebuilt. Well, top end anyways, bottom end was no play, and does not smoke at all. So I did 4 heat cycles. The last 2 heat cycles I was revving it, I full throttled it, no smoke came out the exhaust whatsoever. So we're looking solid there. I did put the new headlights in. I got LED ones. They look really good when they're on. Didn't get that on camera because I went ahead and I already took the rear. Actually, it might turn on with the key. Let's see. Oh yeah. Maybe I can get in the... So yeah, you can see it. I got LED lights on there. That's pretty nice. I was debating getting the like OEM yellow light bulbs, but the LED ones were just so much cheaper. So I just went ahead and got that. So yeah, this one's pretty much almost done. We'll order up the belt, and then we'll put it all back together when I have the belt in, and this should be good to go. But here's the cover, as you can see here. It'll focus. See all that clutch residue right there? That is horrible. They actually coated the whole inside, so. The bearing's good. It's not crunchy or anything, so gonna dust that out. And yeah, this one is pretty much done to go. Well, kinda. So I guess the next video will probably be me working on another four-wheeler and also me finishing up this one.